Yo, it's your boy MartydudeVR, and today we're talking about the top 10 best PSVR2 games. So there's been a lot of games that dropped this year for the PSVR2, and I definitely want to spin the block back and do the top 10 best. So this list is in no certain order, it's just 10 general games that I feel like are the must-play games for the PSVR2, man. Enough talk, let's get into it. All right, guys, 10th game on our list is No Man's Sky VR. Now, this honestly is my favorite. This is my baby, I'm not gonna lie. It's my favorite game on my PSVR. I've always went back to it, even before the big update where they fixed all the blurriness and stuff. I do feel like this is one of the best games on the PSVR 2 and the best way to play No Man's Sky in VR. Now, obviously No Man's Sky is a flat game that got converted to VR with VR mode, but this game lags behind none of the titles I'm about to list. No Man's Sky is essentially a space exploration game where you can gather resources, explore distant stars, planets, and anything you really want to do. And then with the echoes up there they just added recently, you can fight space pirates, have wars in space. There's no limit to the things you really can do in this game. And it's honestly just a huge time sink. Like, you can build a base, start a settlement, and do whatever you want to do. You don't have to do any of that. You can just be a space pirate if you really wanted to. And so there's no limit to this game, and I love it. It is one of my favorite PSVR 2 games just because of that. And so with the recent update, they updated the graphics and stuff like that. And so now it looks seamless, runs a lot better with the foveated rendering, and is a must buy if you have a PSVR 2. I'm not gonna lie. If you aren't in space games, you obviously won't like this one, but if you have any type of like for Star Wars or anything like that, 10 out of 10, recommend. You won't be disappointed. The next game on our list is Red Matter 2. This is one of the most graphically impressive VR games I've seen outside of a Half-Life Alyx. And it is a must-try if you have a PSVR 2 headset. In this puzzle adventure game, you play an agent named Sasha, and you must discover the secrets of the mysterious red matter. So this is a really cool game, and they give you a lot of useful tools to use to figure out some of these admittedly difficult puzzles. The atmosphere that this game provides is almost second to none, and is a definite must-buy for the PSVR 2. I would highly recommend to people who like puzzle games, and highly recommend to people who like good graphics in space. Our 8th game is Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 1 and 2. Now, these are 2 separate games, but I'm gonna include them as one on this list because they do flow into each other really well. In this game, you play as a tourist who's trying to survive in New Orleans during the zombie apocalypse. I love this game because 1, of the atmosphere, 2, the different ways you can kill zombies is pretty crazy. And 3, because of the story. The story was actually really good. There was a lot of cool characters and a really good set pieces for environments. This game really provides a telltale feel with a lot of decision making and a cool horde system for the zombies based on time and sound. So it's really cool, the various ways you can kind of manipulate the hordes to do what you want. And there also are a lot of human encounters you can have while playing this game. So a lot of times you are gonna be shooting at actual other people, which is pretty tense sometimes, and the gunplay feels really good in this game. And 2, the fact you have to really swing melee weapons to really stab a zombie is really well thought out and adds another layer of difficulty to the game. Check this one out. Our 7th game on our list is one of the most interesting driver sims I've ever played, and it is Gran Turismo 7. So, quick story, I actually didn't like this game when it first came out on the PS5 about a year or 2 ago. I thought it was bad. But this game is totally better in VR, and I cannot go back to the flat version of playing this game. This is a driving simulator that offers a ton of different vehicles and a ton of different customization options for those said vehicles. There's also a lot of different maps you can race on, and you can play with friends. It's one of the easiest driving sims to get into without having to go through a bunch of hassle setting up like a Assetto Corsa or like any other ones. It's just easy to get into, easy to set up, and a lot of fun. And it's very detailed. It's one of the games that really uses the PS5 to power the PSVR 2 to show the real fidelity of the graphics of the PSVR 2. I really love how it looks, especially when you're looking around in the car, and you can use the mirrors and stuff to drive, and it's a really fun experience for people who've never tried it. So if you're new to PSVR 2, I definitely recommend this game. Might make you a little motion sick, but test it out a little bit, go slow to see if you can handle it. 10 out of 10, I do recommend. And I don't even like racing games like that. I'm not even a big racer. I do try them out. And I bought a wheel, not because of this game, but I use my wheel a lot more now because of Gran Turismo 7. So definitely check this out because you will be going back to this one, probably the most out of all the games on the list. Not gonna lie. Number 6 on our list is Resident Evil 8 Village. Now, this is one of the best flat to VR ports I've seen for a game. This game looks amazing, feels amazing, and is definitely one of the best games on the PSVR 2. But personally, I didn't play through all of it because I already played RE8. I just tried a little bit, but it's definitely up there in terms of the footage I've seen of people playing it, and it looks really good. So definitely try this out if you enjoy RE8. Like I said, I played a little bit of it. I didn't finish it though. Didn't finish this one, but this is definitely up there. Very immersive. And with the OLED display of the PSVR 2, this game, the darks in this game look really dark. Like the flashlight, you really need a flashlight for this game. And the pressure that the enemies apply to you when they're attacking you is hard to get right in the VR game, but Capcom definitely knocked this port out of the park, and I would love to see them do this with RE4, RE7 for the PSVR 2. We need that, Capcom. The next game on our list is gonna be amazing for you if you love retro gaming, and I mean like really retro, like Atari level retro gaming. And so this game is Pixel Rep 1978. And so in this game, you play a game developer named Dot and a hero named Dot in a game world who has to stop the evil Silent Lord. And I love this game because it's a fresh idea. I love fresh ideas for VR games, and this game hits it perfectly. I highly recommend this if you have extra money. It's a good price, only like 20 bucks. Oh my God, you gotta get it on the sale, or even just get it. In terms of actual gameplay, I've never played a game like this. It offers a crazy retro experience while mixing it with that VR feel. So there's really cool mini games and levels you have to go to, really cool shooting, and just a lot of heart and really good game design and cool animations and art styles to go with this, and a pretty good story. The story is actually kind of sad in a way. You know, it's kind of sad in a way, but it's a really good ending. Like, there's a few VR games I've played through fully, and I'm actually satisfied with the ending, but this is one of them. It just, you could tell the team really put their hearts into this game and this series, and it showed with Pixel Rip 1978. So if you have PSVR 2, pick this up. You will not be disappointed. You can see the gameplay on the screen. It's fire. Fourth game on our list is Moss VR. In Moss VR, you'll step into the tiny shoes of Quill, an adorable and surprisingly combat-ready mouse. You'll explore forests, ancient ruins, and dungeons, all full of different creatures and fire landscapes. You also navigate through sometimes hard puzzles to overcome obstacles and unlock hidden secrets. This game combines fairy tales and VR. Now, this is one of the most unique storytelling experiences I've ever experienced, maybe in the game, to be honest with you, especially in the VR game. 10 out of 10 recommend, and there is a bundle for both Moss 1 and Moss 2. Do yourself a favor and get this game, man. This game is amazing, and I definitely love it for people who are newer to VR. So if you're looking for a new VR experience, if you never played VR much, this is definitely one of those games. Quill is adorable, and the gameplay is surprisingly pretty good. The third game on our list is Pavlov. Now, this is one of my favorite VR shooters because it allows you to do everything. It has modern maps, a bunch of game modes, even old school 1942 World War II era maps and guns you could use. There's a plethora of everything to do in this game. And there's also just a bunch of community on this. Pavlov has gave me some of my funniest VR moments, not gonna lie. Pavlov is very reminiscent of CSGO and has a lot of similarities to that game, but definitely offers a new experience for PSVR 2 users who never really played kind of more of a realistic shooter. In Pavlov, you have to reload with your hands, you have to do a lot of things you have to do with a more arcadey game, but this is a fire experience for people who want to get into a more realistic sim shooter on the PSVR 2. Personally, I think it's the best shooter on the PSVR 2. People might debate that, but Pavlov has withstood the test of time and offered a great experience to its players. And you could drive a tank in the game. Like, come on, man. This game is one of the best games. It's literally one of the best games in PSVR 2, and even on PC VR. And debatably Quest in terms of shooter. Now, we don't have contractors on the PSVR 2, so I can't compare it to that. But Pavlov is a one-of-a-kind experience in what it offers. And try out the custom zombies on here and let me know how you feel. Have you ever wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons in VR? Where our second game, Demeo, allows you to do just that. This is a tabletop VR game where you and your friends can go on crazy quests through dark dungeons filled with a lot of different monsters and puzzles that you can do. This game does require a little bit of strategy and can get really hard at times. I've died a lot in Demeo, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really want to admit it, but it's true. But this is a really fun game, and what's really nice is this game can be played without VR. So if you want to just hop in without your headset one day, you definitely have a chance to do that. And it's also on multiple platforms, so you can play with a lot of different people. Not to mention that this game looks amazing on the PSVR2 with the updated graphics, and is a must play for people who love RPGs. I like RPGs, so I definitely love hopping in this one every once in a while just to experience it. Check this one out. All right, guys, before we get to the last thing on our list, let's check in with our sponsor, VRrock.com, where you can get some nice prescription lenses for an affordable price. Make sure you use code MartydudeVR at checkout, and you can get 10% off your prescription lenses, man. Awesome deal. And they ship really quick, even though they ship overseas, and I've never had a bad experience order from them. So check out VRrock.com. Let's get to the last one. The last game on our list, and definitely not least, is Synapse VR. This is one of the most impressive PSVR2 games personally that I can think of, and is one of the few games that uses the eye tracking that the PSVR2 gives you as an actual core mechanic of the game. This game is a roguelike FPS, and so in this game you play as a mind operative who has to dive through this crazy guy's mind and figure out the secrets on how to stop his terrorist attack. So this is a really interesting premise, and the art style is absolutely gorgeous in the PSVR 2. I highly recommend it for anybody who wants to play a really fun shooter on the PSVR 2 that's not too serious. Now this game can get really hard, but to me personally, I found it pretty easy, but you know, I might be a little good at the game, you know, this might just be me. But no, seriously, Synapse is definitely a unique experience to the PSVR 2, and because of that, that's one of the reasons I put it so low on the list, even though the number of the list doesn't matter, because you know, it's a really good game. Just to give you a bit more context, there are a lot of things to do in this game. So you do a lot of different abilities using the skill tree, and you can fight different enemies and bosses using your telekinesis, and which is really fun to use because it's the closest thing I played in VR to having the Force, and it be like the actual Force, you know, using your mind. So it's really fun. Check it out. With all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was definitely a fun one to make, and let me know how you guys feel in the comments. Did you agree with my list? You disagree? Let me know how you feel. I want to know. Keep the arguments civil, keep the debates friendly, and make sure you like and subscribe, man. I'm trying to get to 2,000 on the channel, and so I appreciate everybody's support. It's me with MartydudeVR, and remember, I'm just a dude with a VR headset. Peace.